traveling time.
Hey, hey, there we are. What's up, party people?
Hello.
As you may have noticed, we are in the same little box this evening because Alex and I are on a little road trip, as we do. We're hanging out in beautiful La Jolla, where Alex spent a lot of her time in her youth. We're just hanging out with friends, checking out if we want to maybe live around here, and also got a birthday gal over here. Not quite yet. This weekend, though, we've got some real fun stuff planned. So, pretty excited, and also excited to have you joining us this evening. We've got a really special program. So, as you show up, definitely let us know who's here in the chat, and we'll get this party started in just a minute.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Hope you're staying cool or warm, depending on where you're at. I know there's a lot of different weather going on out there. It's pretty hot out here.
It is very hot. It's like a heat wave going on here, which is great because we don't have air conditioning in our little rental. We've got fans blowing on us, so if you can't hear us, let us know. We can, maybe we'll turn off the fans if we need to or anything like that.
Thank you.
We got some birthday wishes for you here.
Thank you.
Ultra.
Thank you so
What's
much,
up,
guys.
Melissa? How you doing? Great. We've got a sweet program. What's up, Misty? We got a sweet program for you this evening. We got another one that comes to you courtesy of our mental health advisory board. So shout out to them. And this was actually one that Alex kind of came up with on the last week because of some of the responses you guys were talking about. And we were like, oh, I feel like we should do a nervous system reset. So I was like, we should. Wrote it down. Worked on it with the mental health advisory board, and so we've got some chill prompts for us this evening to kind of check in with what's going on with our bodies, our nervous systems, and try to press pause, reset, get in touch with a better state of being if we can.
We can all benefit from that, that's for sure.
Hey, Stephanie, glad you got a chance to hang out, join us.
Welcome.
Kathy's in the
Hello.
house. Jody Patrick was just in La Jolla.
Nice.
Loved it. Awesome. Yeah, it's gorgeous. This is actually where Alex and I got married. So, last night we went to, we had a couple of drinks at a bar that was like next to where we stayed, right? Is it actually part of that place?
Yeah, it's part of the hotel.
Very lush environment here. It's very sweet.
Very beautiful. Okay.
Warmed up here in the Midwest. Oh, that's right. It's probably we got the opposite problem. People have been freezing.
I know, that's why I was like, stay warm or cool. Either way, I'm not sure what weather you're dealing with.
I'm jealous that you need a heater right now. I know with grass is always greener, but it is hot here.
Yeah, it's sweltering at the moment.
This is
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Appreciate it.
Therapist, loving that you have a mental health advisory board. Oh, sweet. Well, yeah, let us know if you want to participate. We are
Oh, amazing.
gathering folks, and what's nice is, I guess I had some level of awareness of this, but in my head, like therapist just meant like somebody who knew about all of it, but apparently like everyone's got different specialties and stuff like that. And actually, the way that we built out the new board, it's super cool because I can tag the programs to go to different pros depending on what their specialties are. So really dialing it in.
We love our therapists, so good on you.
Siri Cat! Ah, it's been a while. And my Siri just went off. That's how we know you're back. Welcome. Good to see you again. Yes, it was mid-50s here in Central Illinois.
Not as terrible as it could be. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday for you. All right, folks. Well, so it seems like we've got a light crowd. I don't know if my emails are hitting the spam folder or whatever, but You know what? We're live. We're on YouTube. We're doing it live again. And folks who miss out, catch the replay or just look through the app. But I don't know. What do you guys say? You guys ready to get this party started? Get a little nervous system reset in order? You know, I could use a little refresher myself. Gotta get both your heads in there. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, here we go. We've got 5 prompts for you this evening. We're going to do 4 minutes per prompt. They're pretty easy. I think this one, it's less about digging up stuff and more about just checking in, seeing how you feel right here and right now, and also, of course, recognizing some patterns and trying to make some better choices as we seek to do. I made my name before that. Your name became yes. I thought I actually intentionally changed like the wake word on my devices to remove because I guess you say just Siri. Okay, so that didn't activate. It's when you say hey and then the word we will not say. All right, Mary's here, so now we can definitely get started.
Yes, get this party started.
All right, girl Alex, you want to
I will do.
Steven. All right, cool. Well, so for the uninitiated, if there are any here, Alex and I will take turns reading the prompts and journaling along with you. And then at the very end, we will all just hang out and share our insights and do as we do. Let me change our ticker here for anyone who might be joining in a little bit late. I see we got a few more stragglers popping into the chat. So, awesome. We got Bria Loves in the house. Good evening. Good evening. All right. I think it's time to go.
Yes, let's do it.
What did you say, odds? You
I'll
said
do
evens.
evens.
All right, cool. I got us. Let's get rocking. All right. Prompt number 1. Current state. Take a moment to check in with your internal weather. Are you feeling stormy and rushed or heavy and stalled? Describe the physical sensations in your body right now without trying to fix or judge them.
Sensory anchoring. Focus on your immediate surroundings. Find one thing you can see, one thing you can hear, and one thing you can touch. Describe these three things in vivid detail and notice how your breathing changes as you focus outward.
The weight of the world. Identify a specific responsibility or worry that has been making your shoulders feel heavy today. Write about what it would feel like to mentally set that burden down on the shelf for the next 20 minutes.
At the quiet space, think of a memory or a place where you felt completely safe and at peace. Reconstruct that scene in your mind. What are the colors, sounds, and temperatures that make this place a sanctuary for your nervous system?
A gentle return. As you prepare to move back into your day or evening, what is one way you can carry this sense of calm with you? Write down a simple phrase or a physical cue you can use later to remind your body that you are safe and supported. Yay! We did it! Awesome. Congratulations, everyone, on a hopefully chilled out nervous system. Feeling pretty good, everyone? I feel pretty good. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel nice. Yeah, I ended with some nice breaths, and so I'm feeling a little bit better because I definitely could have used that or used most of these questions today. So
Yeah, I was even. Well, I noticed some of the prompts, mention your breath and noticing that. But even before, like, I read that part of the prompt, I was like, oh, I'm taking like some deep breaths just to even get in touch with, the different sensations and things like that. Yeah, it feels nice. One of the things that was kind of coming up for me was like how it's interesting being in like a different space that's not your space and what that does to your nervous system. Not that it's like short circuiting it or frying it or anything like that, but just like having things be different and less familiar. I find it like a little harder to focus than
Really?
normal. And I think
Yeah.
that's what has been sort of like chumming up my nervous system a little bit. And I wouldn't say I've been spiraling out or anything like that, but I have felt a little bit of like background stress this week as I have a very clear objective of something that I'm trying to, get done for Journal Party this week. And it's a lot of like, it's not hard stuff to accomplish, but it's like new stuff where I'm having to like learn and, figure things out. And it's just, I'm so used to like my cozy little office space where I have everything like under control, and it's a big theme for me, obviously. But I think it was nice to just kind of get in touch with everything that is here and now, and try to honor that a little bit. I mean, I think there was like a little bit of background stress. I've been complaining about how it's hot here and stuff like that, and we're in a smaller, more cramped space, so we've kind of got a little bit of clutter, and we're a little bit on top of each other here. But that said, like it was really nice to get in touch with like, oh, like we're here on the beach, like we're here doing something that's like important for our lives. It's something that we planned together, and it's your birthday. Like there's all this stuff that like when you can tune into it, like all that little chatter fades a little bit. And like I said, I kind of just noticed breaths. Like it's all good. It's all good, baby.
Yeah. I'm going to go close our window real quick because we're going to get sun in our face in just a moment.
All right. Well, in the meantime, let me know how you all did in the chat. I see we had some more people joining us. Oh man, where was it? 90 degrees. Oh, Gabby's here. Okay, so I guess it was a little too much, but we got Jenny joined us. Awesome. Yeah, you guys were getting into the grounding stuff. Yeah, I mean, it seems so silly, but how powerful is it? Like, I was noticing the sound of like a plug-in fan here, and just kind of like, am I like having a moment with the fan? Like, it was nice though, really good. Got some happy birthday wishes here.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. Yeah.
Siri says, reminds me of Safe and Sound by Capital Cities Group. I think that's from the last prompt. I love that song, by the way. That was like an anthem of mine when things weren't going so well in my life. I was like, it's okay. It's all safe, I'm sound. Feeling much better after taking a few moments to pause.
I agree. Nice reset for sure.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone. You're so welcome. Gabby says, I really needed a session and it was so helpful. I've had a heaviness on me. Just going over these prompts really helped what I've been going through. It's nice to have a reset. And isn't it nice to know that that's like accessible whenever you really want? Like none of this was like crazy stuff. I mean, just taking a few deep breaths, like seeing what your senses are picking up. And I mean, I'm a super cerebral dude, so that's actually normally kind of hard for me. I've got the demands of the day, what I'm trying to meet my ambitions, like what I think people's expectations are of me, and it was so nice to just kind of let that go. I mean, we had that one prompt, like, what would it be like to put all that stuff down? The stuff that's been on, making your shoulders feel heavy. What would it be like to just put it down for like 20 minutes? And I love that one because I often reject, little advice like that. Like, let it go. I mean, I love the idea of letting go, and I really try to do it. But like, it's like, no, you don't understand. I have to get all this stuff done. It's like, okay, but 20 minutes? Can you spare 20 minutes for your own well-being? I can't.
And a nice thing about being in San Diego is I get to see some of my best friends, and one friend in particular, she's really good about helping me calm down. She'll call me out when I'm stressing about unnecessary things. We went out with her last night, and I was just, unnaturally anxious for no good reason. she helped kind of calm my nerves. I saw her help Alex calm his nerves the day before. She kind of called you out and was just like, well, what if you look at it this way? And we were both like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Like, not everything, you don't have to bring, we bring some intense energy to a lot of things, I think. And so it's nice having someone reflect back to you like, hey, no need for that. Like, everything's okay. We're here. We're happy. We're healthy. We're safe. There's no need to just let your mind wander and go off onto tangents. And, so I know having my friend here, and we went for a nice long walk the other day, and, she's positive, and it's just that's kind of energy I want to pick up on. I want positivity. I want to go on more long walks. That was really, nice and grounding. And so yeah, it's been an interesting week of kind of, some ups and downs.
Well, just throwing yourself into a different environment, like getting affected by different things, seeing, how like whatever, your normal track is, how does that fare when you're somewhere else? And I know, not everyone else is traveling and stuff like that, but one of the things you just said, I feel like it could almost be an addendum prompt onto here. Like, who are the people in your lives that are helpful for calming your nerves?
Mm-hmm.
And like treasure those people. Like you if you haven't let her know that she has that.
I let her know, but I'll let her know again, because she really does, and it's someone that's known me for like 25 years at this point. So this is someone who knows me very, very well and can tell when something's off and is happy to interject. It's just constantly reminding me it's going to be okay. So it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, it is nice to have someone who can really help calm your nervous system.
Kathy said, why when you're trying to unwind and journal, life wants to snowball into an avalanche? Yeah, well, I mean, you bring up something interesting, like snowballs and avalanches, right? I mean, those are born out of motion and momentum. And, we live in a sea of motion and momentum. And, it's real easy to get swept up in any force, because there's so much, these forces will swirl around us constantly. And depending on, what your life circumstances are, or even what your interests are, and stuff that you like you can, very quickly get attached to some of these things. And, that can be awesome. It can be really fun to go on a ride. It's fun to catch waves and things like that. But at the same time, if you're not mindful in that process, like, you can tumble. And I can be prone to that. And so this work is super helpful for me to just, at the very least, like, poke your head out and it's like, all right, do I like this ride that I'm on, or like, do I need to change things up a little bit? I mean, ultimately, I think we have a lot of power. I mean, obviously, we all have our responsibilities. We have to do whatever it is that you're responsible for. But I think, talk about responsibilities. Like, your state of being is like the ultimate responsibility, and how you bring that into any circumstance is also going to affect the momentum of other people's rides and stuff. And so I always think it's like really cool, like the ripple effect of this sort of work, because even though we can be prone to get swept away, like, we are also adding to the momentum, to the motion. So it's really good to be intentional about how you show up in that. So yeah, I mean, you're right, Kathy. Life has a funny way of like figuring out like when you need some calm, when you need some peace, and like just throwing a wrench in the machine. But I think that we've all kind of done this work enough at this point. I know you certainly have, where you obviously you've been witness to your own power in that. So I think that's the key, is to just decide to get in touch with that, and then see how you're going to handle everything else thereafter. Mary says, yes, Geeky Witch, a 5-4-3-2-1 sensory grounding. I love it. Use it all the time with my work kids. Yeah, you have to share the protocol for that in the group. Suri says, there's Siri going off there. Definitely will be visiting and revisiting this session in the Journal Party app. Yes, please do. If you haven't checked it out, we've got the new app up in the Apple App Store and Google Play now. So if you're a mobile, if you prefer to engage with the Journal Party on mobile, we have those apps updated and on there now. And I like the desktop version myself, which you can always access at journalparty.com. And it is completely homegrown and under our control now. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff in the works. As I mentioned before, we've got the mental health advisory board totally ripping and rolling right now. So cranking out all the programs that I've always really wanted to do, but I've just been a little bit too nervous about, for just wanting to make sure we're doing no harm and actually helping people. So now we've got the help that we need to be able to really churn out those programs. And then I got to be careful about spilling the beans about some of the future plans here, but we've got another really awesome addition. If you guys like the tunes and the vibes that we're throwing your way, we're going to try to make sure that we can get those to you round the clock. So that's my little teaser spoiler, but we've got something I've been working on in the background here, and hopefully, get it up soon. But I'm reluctant to promise anything because of how freaking long the app is. So,
yeah, it's a lot more complicated than it seems.
Everything is.
Yeah. I just wanted to share something. A place that is a sanctuary for my nervous system is, it was this moment I had in Sayulita, Mexico. I actually went to a nervous system reset retreat, which was really incredible. And I got a lot of wonderful tips and tricks while I was there. But one of the things we did was an ice plunge. And it was, the location of the retreat was amazing. There was, we did the little ice plunge in the middle, and there was a pool around us. We did our ice plunge and jumped into the pool and enjoyed the sunset. And it was just, I have to say something about that ice plunge. I've never had such a surge of happiness and comfort and mindfulness. And I've only ever done a cold plunge once, but actually tomorrow, my same friend that I was talking about earlier works for a company that does cold plunges. And I think after we do our breathwork class tomorrow, I might be doing the ice plunge again. And, I have to say it's something worth trying for sure. And I'll let you know how that goes, because last time it was amazing. And, it also just talk about something that requires you to think about nothing other than your current state. I mean, your mind literally goes blank and you're just working on your breathing and nothing is going through your head. You get that nice, moment of clarity. So I do recommend maybe checking that out for those of us that struggle with our nervous system.
I would not have guessed you would have been into that at all.
There was a heat component too, where they did really a really hot thing, and I cannot do heat.
You're not about the heat.
Upsets
what about
me.
Sauna? You can do a sauna.
No, I can't.
Really?
I'll go in for a few minutes and then I freak out. So saunas, heat, no. But something about that ice plunge, just it was like a surge of energy and happiness and just this clarity that I can't, experience otherwise. Maybe. Well, maybe we'll get into cold plunges in the future.
They're kind of opposite in that way. I love a good sauna. I love, I love the short bursts of heat. I don't like to be hot all day. That drives me nuts. But the cold plunges, I mean, I've done it once or twice. Anytime I've had to jump into a cold lake or river or anything like that, it's the worst. I don't know how you like that.
Yeah.
You ever accidentally bump the shower? Even that.
Yeah.
And it's not for me.
Yeah.
But maybe it would be if I made it a practice of sorts. But it's interesting. Melissa says, thanks for the prompts tonight. Feeling tired, so I'm gonna take off a bit early.
Okay, Melissa, you might be gone, but bye. We love you.
We love you. Cat says, deep breathing to unclench my jaw, reaching for the stars. I love that idea. Reaching for the stars to release the tension in my shoulders, and rolling my neck to relax the tightness. Yeah, I've been having some serious tightness myself. I
We have our yoga mat out. I have this hard green ball that we roll our backs and our shoulders on because everything's hurting today.
Feeling these birthdays.
Yes, right?
Kathy says, looking forward to playing the video from the campgrounds to listen to the nature sounds and see the vibrant greens of the leaves and the moss and deep browns of the tree trunks. I miss being there. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, well, and this is no substitute for the real thing, but also in the new app, when you're in any of these sessions, at the top right, there's a little sound thing, and not only can you select from all sorts of different background music, but we have background ambient sounds too. So I like to throw the one with the beach on. We're at the beach now, so like I don't need to have that, but I love throwing the ocean wave sounds on. It gets me. That was one of the things that I was writing about. Like that is totally a sanctuary, safe space, like where I feel like the world stops being so demanding, and I can just witness splendor. And I really. It took me a while to get that component built into the new app, and I'm so glad I did that because it something about it, just even the sound, like you're saying, it's enough to bring you back. It does something. Gabby says, "Be kind and rewind with a positive attitude."
I love that.
Kathy, too many responsibilities overlapped when I've had them spaced out to avoid, so I got very overwhelmed. Breathing a lot calmer now, and the tension is subsiding. Yeah, well, you're doing some breath work tomorrow. I mean, your breath, really is so powerful. It kind of reminds me of how, you can smile to put yourself into a better mood, and I think, in the same way, you can do that. Like, you can slow down your breathing to calm down, right? Like, when you get stressed out, everything's sped up and short, like those nice, slow, deep breaths, really tune you into that state. So, like that kind of thing. Mental Health Advisory Board, I have a background in social services. Love this party. Awesome. Yeah, well, and for anybody out there who does have the credentials, we love to collaborate. I think, it's so exciting for me that this can not just be a hobby, but that it can be something real that serves people. And, especially with, people giving all sorts of crazy advice on the internet. And, people just using AI for everything. It's cool, that we have all these tools and everything, but there's a certain amount of care that I think that is getting lost in the shuffle with all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to me, and that we have this board, that we have people who have made it their life's work to actually check up on some of the things that we're doing, help us out, right? I mean, it's also been lonely and tough doing all of it, myself. And it's so awesome to be to message the board and hey, we got, I'm coming. I often have them do programs for me too. Still I've been angry all week. Can we do an anger program? I'm yeah, now we have that. So yeah, I mean, the stuff that can really be helpful, I'm really glad that it's coming along with it. So
yeah,
stuff. Gary says 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you smell, 1 thing you can taste, and you can journal it or even do a scavenger hunt for it.
Awesome. What a great idea, Mary. Wow.
So, Mary, humble ask here. But, one of the features in the new Journal Party app is you can create your own programs. I would love it if you would test that feature for me. And this would be an awesome program to do that with. So let me know if you're down. If not, I'll make it. But, I know you're down to clown, so let me know. Suri says,
every time.
Thank you for the heart and soul you are putting into Journal Party. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so bad for mental health. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's crazy too because, I think on one hand, it's super powerful because it's connected to the wealth of the world's knowledge, but so is the internet, and we saw what that did to everybody. But I think the thing that's lost on people is that it will straight up make things up. AI, the goal of a lot of these large language models is not just to like actually be useful. A lot of times like the goal is to like please you and to confirm your biases and things like that. So like in some of the interactions that I've had with it, it's like it'll say something that I know is just straight up wrong, and it's like, did you make that up? And it's like, you're absolutely right, I made that up. And it's like, gosh, how many people are listening to this? It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And like now we're talking about the government's fighting over like letting it control weapons and stuff. Like, what are we doing, guys? Crazy. And so look, see how quickly I was pulled into the world there, and my brownies going on, and my breathing, and the concerns. Look, it's all there, it's all real, but I can put that down for the rest of the evening, I think, and we'll still be there and figure that out. But man, we've got all this stuff going on in our world, in our lives, and sometimes I think, at least for me, it feels like I need to figure it out. Like I need to solve it. And then like the craziest part is like you go to ask your mind to figure it out for you, and it doesn't have the answer. So then, speaking of my mind, it beats itself up for not having the answer. So then it's like this vicious cycle. It's like, well, what am I going to do about that? Oh, I don't know. I gotta beat myself up about that. Well, what am I going to do? Crazy. You can spin out. So it's so, practice of journaling. Like, I appreciate you all being here, but like, even if you guys weren't here, like, I don't know what I would do without this. I've got meditation, yoga and exercise and stuff. But this one, just being able to get all the thoughts out so I can look at them and go, that's kind of silly. I think I'm going to be different, or whatever it is. Everyone's got their own, way to correct and engage, and ultimately it's up to you. But I think journaling helps me get in touch with them. Helps me get, I was talking about this in therapy the other day. It's like, with all this stuff going on, like I feel increasingly powerless with a lot of things. And, there's a lot of components to like what produces those feelings, but I do find that when I get it out on the page and I look at it, it's like, okay, suddenly I start to claw back a little bit of that power, at least like that personal agency. And you can decide how you want to go up in this crazy world that we're all sharing. But I for one am grateful to be sharing it with folks like you who are willing to do this work and just see what happens. It's been a crazy ride, but it's been really great. Mary says, totally down for anything you need. Love to get that. Yeah, well, check it out. See if you can figure out how to create your own program in the app. If you have trouble, let me know. And let me know if there's any bugs. Try to squash them. Mary said, oh, there's my Siri again. Yes, AI has been shown time and time again that it will and does make things up, and there is an inherent bias. AI uses low-quality sources like Reddit. The blind leading the blind. No offense to the blind. But yeah, it's going to get interesting. I think it's very important to this kind of work to like stay in touch with our own agency and our own cognition. Like that's the other thing that I've seen studies coming out about this now, where when you let something else do all your thinking for you, like you kind of lose the ability to do it. And we're already starved for critical thinking in this world. Like I'm just so nervous about the youth. Speaking of the youth, though, we've been getting a lot of feedback that kids love journaling. And I know, Mary, you were doing some programs or letting your kids do the podcast and stuff like that. And actually, we just did a live journal party here at a space called Your Space Collective here in San Diego. And one of the hosts there was her daughter was bummed that she couldn't do the journal party thing. I was like, well, we can make a kids journal party thing. So
I might do one in the future.
Yeah, and actually, Mary, reach out if I know you have experience in that space. Like, obviously, again, we want to make sure that we're doing right by everyone. So let me know like what they've been particularly interested in, and maybe you can help me kind of craft a program that the kiddos would like. I think that would be so cool. I know we have one of the little prompt books here. Some of you guys might have it at this point. We have a couple of those little pocket-sized journal prompt books that we we sometimes sell with these notebooks and stuff. And I think I'm going to make a kids edition. We have 365 for for daily journaling and self-reflection, and then we've got the gratitude version here, which is pretty popular. But I think the kids version would go nicely as a third, right? So yeah. Look at me just constantly creating work for myself.
Right?
But you know what? It is a labor of love, and I'm so grateful that you guys show up and humor me and entertain all these crazy things that I'm working on. But it's not just for me; it's for all of you as well. So your feedback is always appreciated, and just thank you again.
Thank you. Last comment here.
Kathy said, I told my therapist that my mind works like a slingshot. I have to go back on how I made it through situations in the past to go through situations I'm experiencing now.
Oh, yeah.
Just figured out that scrapbooking is a form of journaling. Yeah, totally. For sure. And, no matter what the modality is, I think just kind of collecting, different ways to express yourself. Like creative expression is so therapeutic in my opinion. Before I had meditation, I've been journaling for a long time. But it used to be like making music and writing songs from that. See, that's kind of fun to relax in its own way. And just how did I deal with my teenage angst? It's me and my buddies went and made some noise, and talked about our feelings, really emo songs. Oh, you guys should have seen me. I had the emo hair. It's ridiculous.
I was going to say, I actually did a little journaling when I was younger, and I have held on to a few of them. The things I wrote about were ridiculous, mostly about the boys I had crushes on, or what was going on with that, and what kind of fights I was getting into with my friends, or really silly stuff. But I think that would be fun if we were to share some journal entries from
good content
from our youth.
Yeah, I don't know how far back my collection goes, because I used to be so afraid that my mom was going to read my journals and stuff that I would destroy them. And so I've got a big trunk full of them, but I feel like they maybe only go back to when I was 18. I feel like that, once I was on my own, it was okay, I can just, nobody's coming into my place or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Mary's down to collab. Sweet. Yes. Awesome. All right, folks. Well, I'm getting pretty hungry, and my dog is probably really upset that the D word is an hour
Dinner,
late.
yeah.
That's his favorite words. Right up there with breakfast. And that's I'm pretty grateful that that's the biggest demand that basically this is. So, folks, once again, thank you so much for showing up and hanging out with us. I hope you'll come to the next one. Let us know if you have anything that you want to be journaling about in the future. Like I said, we've got some really great collaborators that can help us dig into even the toughest things. Not to put anyone on blast, or you don't have to say anything publicly or anything like that. But if you ever did want to make a vulnerable request or anything like that, you can feel free to email me at alex@journalparty.com or support@journalparty.com. I see those as well. We want to serve this community. So let us know what you want to do. All right, folks. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week, and as always,
Party on.